What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope everybody's doing well out there on this old Blue Monday. I'm doing good myself, you understand? Looking forward, for some time off, simply because, the holiday and everything. So that kind of make up for the day, being Monday. Uh, wow. Here's one of my all-time favorite comedians right here. You understand? Eddie Murphy, along with, others. As you can see, it says, back to being a Hollywood slave. Bill Cosby lashes out at Eddie Murphy after SNL gig. All right. Oh, boy. As you can see, they doing their little hand gestures here, right here to the gods that they serve. Keenan right here, he also, as they say, throw Bill Cosby under the bus, and he's done the same thing that Eddie Murphy's done. You understand? He offered, Mr. Cosby up to their gods for a sacrifice. You understand? When I say that, I mean by getting on here, making jokes about Mr. Cosby. You understand? And if it was not for Mr. Cosby paving the way for them to be, at the comedic status that they are, out there, they never would have made it anyway. See, him directly, he played Fat Albert. Mr. Cosby, had him play Fat Albert and everything. But nevertheless, they feel like they had to appease their gods, making jokes about Mr. Cosby and everything. Now, I still say the only thing that got Mr. Cosby was his marital, infidelities, and that's it. I don't believe that Mr. Cosby ever drugged, and raped no woman. They got a bunch of whores to collaborate a lie, a story, and they went after Mr. Cosby. But it's something else is the reason why, you understand, that they went after him, and it wasn't because he raped no woman. These are nothing but lies, and he's wrongfully accused. He's in prison right now, wrongfully. He shouldn't even be in prison, and what have you. Now, I do think the real main reason why he's suffering what he's going through is simply because of the, marital infidelity. See, when go before the Most High, and enter into marriage with a woman, you see, that's a covenant unto the Most High. When you say I do, that's a covenant. And if you break that covenant, you're going to pay for it. And the same thing goes for women. It's when she says I do to that husband, anytime you enter into that covenant and if you break that covenant, you're going to pay some kind of way for doing that. And I think that's the reason why Mr. Cosby's going through what he's going through now. He's out in them streets fooling with them hoes. And that's all they do. And that's what they was. That's what a lot of them still are. Okay? That's that. But getting back to Mr. Eddie Murphy right here, he got jokes and everything, you understand, about Mr. Cosby and all that kind of stuff. Wow, that's not cool. That is not cool. That's him below the belt. But you do anything to get back in. I guess you step left from the industry, and they put you out there. Now you coming back, and you appeasing, and you want to appease your gods by offering up Mr. Cosby. See, but why aren't you offering up yourself? Okay. Now, like I said right here, it says, about what I said about, him being a Hollywood slave and everything. And Mr. Bill Cosby rep lashes out. But let's just read this brief story right here, and then I'm going to show you what he should have made jokes about, which he would not dare do. He wouldn't dare do. Let's get into this story. Eddie Murphy was back on Saturday Night Live this weekend hosting the show for the first time in 35 years. Not everyone was laughing. The comedian legend kicked off his monologue by talking about his new baby, his 10th child. But if you would have told me, if you would have told me 30 years ago that I would be this boring stay-at-home house dad and Bill Cosby would be in jail, even I would have took that bet. Who is America's dad now? Murphy cracked when they spot what with the spot. Let me read that again. Murphy cracked with a spot on Cosby impression. Cosby publicist Andrew Wyatt hit back on Instagram Sunday night saying the actor and comedian broke color barriers in the industry so that Murphy and others could thrive. You see, and that's true. One would think that Mr. Murphy was given his freedom to lead the plantation so that he could make his own decisions. But he decided to sell himself back to being a Hollywood slave, Wyatt said. And this is Mr. Cosby's representative right here, Mr. Wyatt. Okay. And let's read this right here. It says, Bill Cosby publicist Andrew Wyatt responds to Eddie Murphy's SNL monologue. Mr. Cosby became the first black to win an Emmy for his role in I Spy. And Mr. Cosby broke color barriers in the entertainment industry so that blacks like Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, and etc. all could have an opportunity to showcase their talents for many generations to come. It is sad that Mr. Murphy would take this glorious moment of returning to SNL and make disparaging remarks about Mr. Cosby. One would think that Mr. Murphy was given his freedom to leave the plantation so that he could make his own decisions, but he decided to sell himself back to being a Hollywood slave. Step and fetch it plus cooning equals the destruction of black men in Hollywood. Remember, Mr. Murphy, that Bill Cosby became legendary because he used comedy to humanize all races. Well, religion and genders. But you're attacking Mr. Cosby. Helps you embark on just becoming clickbait. Hopefully you will be amenable to having a meeting of the mind conversation in order to discuss how we can use our collective platforms to enhance black people rather than bringing all of us down together. Hashtag not funny SNL. Far from finished. Free Bill Cosby. Hashtag Bill Cosby. Yeah, dude should be ashamed of himself. You know what I mean? And it goes on right here to say, during Saturday show, Murphy also brought back a number of classic characters, including Buckwheat, Mr. Robinson, and Gumpy. Wyatt seemed to accuse the comedian of perpetuating stereotypes, mentioning both Cooning and Step and Fetch It, a racist character played by Lincoln Perry in the early 20th century, and added, "Your attacking Mr. Cosby helps you embark on just becoming a clickbait." Right? Yeah. Too bad for Eddie, man. It goes on to say here, Wyatt closed by inviting excuse me, people. Wyatt closed by inviting Murphy to sit down for a conversation to discuss how we can use our collective platforms to enhance black people rather than bringing all of us down together. USA Today reached out to Murphy's reps for comment. Cosby is serving a 3 to 10 year prison term in Pennsylvania after being convicted in 2018 on 3 felony counts of drugging and molesting a woman in 2004. all bullshit on, with that. But all I can say for Mr. Murphy is this: Eddie, you should know better. Brother, you know you wrong. Think of the tears and fears you bring to your folks back home. They say, where did he go wrong, my Lord? We planned and worked hard from the very start. Tried to make him better than all the rest. But the brother grew to be so much less. That's what it is with you. It goes on to say this: Eddie is everybody's friend. But sometimes you wonder now and then, the only time he chooses you is when there's something to lose through his personal loss. And the friend pays the cost all the time. Must be something that's freeze in his mind that has made him through greed so very blind. And I don't think he's gonna make it this time. Look, that's Curtis Mayfield, Eddie song. And it fits Eddie Murphy perfectly, okay? But let's get into what Mr. Murphy should have been making jokes about. Hey, what's this shit right here? Yeah, why didn't you make jokes about Mr. Murphy? See, you let them bastards put you up to do shit like this. You understand? But see, what about your own dirty laundry? Now, this is really bad. As it says here, when Eddie Murphy was stopped by police with a transsexual prostitute in his car. Where's the joke about that? See? Eddie Murphy was 4 years into his marriage to Nicole Mitchell Murphy, on May 2nd, 1997, 20 years ago, when police pulled him over at 4:45 a.m. after he picked up a transsexual prostitute. And here's the name right here. I don't know how to pronounce this shit, but it says here, AKA Shalimar. Don't even name yourself that shit. I like the group Shalimar, But to continue, in his Toyota Land Cruiser at a known homosexual prostitution spot along Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood. Yeah. Where's the jokes about that, though? Why you ain't bring that shit up? You could have talked about that, Yeah. But it goes on to say, to set the scene, Murphy run in with the police was 2 years after the high grunt incident, Divine Brown, and 6 years after Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman, was arrested in an adult theater, and the public was primed for a new sex scandal, especially one that could imply that the comedian was maybe, gasp, gay, because the late 90s were all about outing stars. Murphy, then a 36-year-old movie megastar, after making the jump from Saturday Night Live to the big screen, Beverly Hills Cop, Trading Places, was arrested or charged when he was stopped 2 miles after Sualai, who was born a male but identified as a female and dressed like a woman, got in his car. An interrogation by deputies determined no illegal activity had occurred. However, his passenger, who police described as a known transsexual prostitute, was picked up on an outstanding prostitution warrant. All right. Now, I'm sure that would have made a nice joke, See? But the damage control, he said. Murphy walked away from the incident with a clean record, but didn't do himself any favors with his publicist. Excuse for his night riding. His spokesman claimed Murphy was merely giving a prostitute ride home. She asked him for a ride, and Eddie did So, like he had helped people in the past, the rep told CNN that Edie said, "I was trying to be a good Samaritan." And this is what happens. Let me give you that bullshit ass grin, that laugh. You what was it? You motherfuckers. Yeah, do that. And this is the train wreck right here. His ass picked up. Mm. Woo, long story, but y'all get the message. This is all I wanted to do is just show y'all, a new, why he didn't make jokes about that. See, why didn't we hear about this, Eddie? Why not about, why are you talking about Mr. Cosby, Eddie? Huh? Murphy's Flaw. Not Murphy's Law, but Murphy's Flaw. Actor stopped with transsexual hooker in car, pulled over on notorious West Hollywood Strip. Now he knew men behaving badly. What do you see? See that? See? Now, so you back off of, Mr. Cosby. You stop with all that bullshit here. If you got enough dirt on you, I tell you that your ass can. I'm telling you, if you took a shower, you probably stop at the tub. Just say that. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this situation right here. I'm interested in hearing y'all thoughts, and opinions on it. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And this is James. And please remember to live your life as though we are being watched, simply because we are. And I'm out. Peace.